Hello, everybody. This is mz4250, and on this stream, I am going to be creating another 3D model per a Patreon request. So the model that I'm going to be creating today is going to be a female Kitsune cleric who wears scale armor and wields a dagger. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me just lower the music just a little bit so I can hear myself. And right. Oh my god. Good enough. Anyway, let's go ahead and begin. So, so let's go ahead and start it. So what we have over here is we have a lovely base mesh skeleton that I'm going to be using. Normally I use a female body for situations like this. However, because the character is going to be wearing scale armor, and because you know, just the different proportions that I envision a Kitsune to have, a generic male body I think is just fine. So let's go ahead and start posing. Now this character is supposed to be holding a dagger, so that means that the fighting position is going to be a little different from the usual sword and board situation. So this character is going to have more of a combative stance. You know, it's going to be hunched over a little bit. It's going to have, you know, one arm wielding the dagger, and it's going to be like looking like it's ready to fight. The other hand is actually just going to be out and just like, you know, up. So very much a very like roguish looking position, you know. So we're going to go ahead and just start making that happen. So I envision this character holding the blade up, and I envision the... Oh, let me go ahead and turn on my keys so you guys see what buttons I'm pressing. Anyway, so I envision this character, you know, holding his blade up in a ready fighting position, and somewhat of a more tactical looking pose. Nice. Now let's go ahead and move the hips. So I'm gonna have one leg forward and one leg back. And yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Alright, so this leg is going to be forward like I said, and this leg is going to be back, but first the legs need to be somewhat crouched, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. So move this forward like this, move this forward like so. Oops. There we go. Oh yes. So as I'm making this video happen, I do have my Twitch chat going on right now. So I'll be responding to some messages here and there. Lord of Feet, I'm sorry. You having some difficulty with some of your prints. Yeah, 3D prints are a fickle beast, let me tell you. Nah, no difficulty. Alright, that's fine. Okay, so as you can see, this body, with its very generic pose, has a lot of proportions and needs some serious work. For one thing, the legs obviously need to go, the hips must be made much wider, but for now we're just going to go ahead and just get this generic pose down and then go from there. Now let's go ahead and lower this right here. We're going to bring this hand up right over here like so. And I'm going to be printing this in resin, so I'm not going to worry too much about the positioning of the fingers. But this model will still be able to be printed in FDM based on how I'm going to be posing it and how I pose the tail, which you'll see in a little bit. And yeah, I will cover how to make hair and all that stuff too, so it should be pretty good. Alright, I think this is a good starting point for this pose. Let me just move this knee over here just a smidge. Let me go ahead and rotate this a little bit. Nope, wrong way. There we go, and then move that out. Okay, that leg should be fine. Now, let's go ahead and move this hand just a little bit like so. I'm going to completely get rid of these hands anyway, but, you know, at least get the wrists in the right position. let's see, actually more like that right there, because the knife is going to be out over here. And I think I'm going to model like a, a pretty cool looking dagger, like maybe like a Skyrim style dagger, you know? Something a little different looking than just a straight blade. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alright, we got the pose down. Let's go ahead and fix these proportions, because this is kind of ridiculous looking. So, let's go ahead and apply the armature. I'm going to go ahead and press Control P and keep the transform. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the skeleton now, and then we got some work to do. We got some work to do, let me tell you. Alright, so first let's go ahead and change these proportions and get rid of this head. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this head because we don't need it anymore, because it's not a female head to begin with, and it's not a male head. Now let's go ahead and change proportions. So the easiest way to do this would be actually to first add a subdivision surface and then go into sculpting mode, and then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to start inflating and deflating. So let's press F, make this a little bit bigger, and now let's go ahead and inflate and deflate the waistline. Because as you know, women in general physically have wider hips than males do. So got to keep that in mind. And then, of course, don't forget that this character is also going to be wearing armor, so we need to keep that in mind as well. Let's go ahead and make these legs a little bit thicker. Now, there are two ways that I could have done this. I could have mirrored the character after and then re-rigged her. I could have done it that way. Or I could do it the way that I'm doing now, which is a little simpler. I'm going to go with this way, just because, yeah, there's a little bit of repeat work, but at the same time, you know, it's just a little easier to manage, too. Plus, reposing a character after you remove the skeleton is kind of a pain in the butt. So, we're just going to go ahead and do it this way. A Daedric dagger. So the pony head floating in the background is actually not a pony head. It is a Kitsune head, because I'm creating a Kitsune character right now per a Patreon request. A Kitsune is a fox person, and although they do come off kind of wolf-like in some artwork, but either way, a Kitsune is what I'm creating right now. Alright, so now that we have the hips down, we still have a lot of work to do in proportions and such and so forth. But for now, this is acceptable. Now let's go ahead and get rid of these hands, and then we got to work on the body itself and tail, etc., etc. So this hand is going to be eliminated completely, and it's going to be replaced with a hand holding something. So we're just going to go ahead and, instead of going with the whole re-rigging the hand and then moving it back and forth, we're actually just going to go ahead and import a hand that's already pre-positioned and just, you know, put it in. So I already made a variety of body parts already. This is going to be the right hand. Okay. Set origin towards center mass. Kingdom, animal, phylum, chordata, class, mammalia, carnivore. Well, that is definitely an interesting way of describing the scientific basis for the race itself there to one of the folks in the chat. So yeah, gonna go ahead and post this on YouTube later. Finally. What's really funny is even with all the tutorials that I've made, it's obviously I've only posted every once in a while on YouTube, and yet I still am getting followers, which I find really crazy. But I guess my tutorials are of some use, so at least there's that. Anyway, so this hand is a little bit larger than what was originally here, so I'm just going to shrink it down just a smidge. And then I think that's a pretty good positioning right there. So let's go ahead and come join that, smooth it, and then we're going to create a little line right over here and here. Mesh, edges, bridge edge loops. we're gonna go ahead and smooth these vertices and then size it up, and we should be good. We got the hand down. Let's go ahead and make this hand just a little bit thicker to make it easier for my FDM homies, but also because, you know, this is an animal person, so I'm envisioning thicker hands anyway. Okay, now that we got that done, yeah, I do plan on making more streams and such and so forth, so yeah, no, it's definitely gonna happen. Alright, so let's go ahead and start working on this armor a little bit more. So let's see here. First, I need to add a little more weight here because even though it's you know, humanoid animal person, we're still gonna have some form of you know, memories here. Gonna have to get rid of this line though because this is not necessary for armor. Anyway, so let's go right there. Thickness area right here. Okay, and all right. Now we need to get rid of these feet, and we also need to import some feet. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go ahead and save real fast. I'm gonna open up a previous Kitsune model that I've made, and I'm just gonna grab her feet. So let's go ahead and, you know, I know cutting corners is kind of a necessity in 3D art. So if anybody who's watching this is wondering, well, why aren't you just making it from scratch? It's like, well, because I'm not stupid. Anyway, so let's go ahead and grab that, copy, file, open recent, Kitsune cleric there. Let's go ahead and go to object mode. Yes, so one of the important rules of 3D art, or just art in general, is if you can cut corners to get to the final goal, that is sometimes a necessary step. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, so let's go ahead over here, copy paste, put that, oops, put that over here for now. We'll work on that later. I'm gonna have to change this positioning too, obviously. Set origins for center mass. Let's go ahead and move this forward. We're gonna have to change the positioning of the knees a little bit, but it's gonna be okay. Oops, sorry about that. Alrighty. Let's see how that looks so far. Yeah, not too shabby. This needs to go back a little bit, and then this needs to, let's see here. I gotta bring it over here. Then I gotta change the angle because this needs to be facing towards the middle. Yeah, no, exactly. Folks on my stream are agreeing with me. Because it's true, if you just kept remodeling things and recreating things every time, you would never get anything done. If I didn't have my library of 1,700 models, I'd be pretty miserable right now, just having to constantly make new stuff all the time. And sure, I'm sure things would look great, but I would definitely not be as productive. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and move this over here. All right, that looks a little better. Now we're gonna go ahead and, let's see here. I'm actually gonna raise the knees just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this, and we're gonna move this up just a smidge. I'm just gonna go up just a little bit, like so. Okay, that's a little better. Now let's go over here. Let's go and smooth vertex and increase the size just a little bit because I did change a little bit of the geometry. All right. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and join these. Gonna go ahead and grab this, mesh, edges, bridge edge loops. We're gonna go over here, increase the size of this by just a little bit. Then we're gonna go in here and we're just gonna rotate the knees just slightly to the left a little, just like so. Okay, that's one Vulpin style leg, or Lupin style leg, I guess. Let me go to sculpt mode and let me inflate this area right here. The reason why I have to inflate here is because if I leave this as is and as thin as it could be, it could lead to some breaks. So we're gonna expand a little in that area right there. Okay, we got that done. Looks good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other leg. I'm going to be printing this in resin. As for resin in cold rooms, I mean, I haven't had any problems with my room so far. Yeah, I don't know. It's been doing just fine. Overnight, I successfully printed my Elder Obelix, and the room was kind of chilly in here because I left the window open because I didn't want the room to smell like grossness. And I don't know, seemed fine when I came in this morning. The print was a success, and I'm pretty satisfied with how it came out. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. So this leg right over here is going to be a completely different form of geometry from the other one, obviously. The reason being is that this leg is, you know, held back a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure first and foremost that this is set in the middle. We're going to make sure that the feet are in the right position, which it looks like it is. And now we need to just do a little bit of rotation, just a smidge of rotation. And then after we do the smidge of rotation, now we need to change the geometry of this fella. So things need to be moved around and things need to be changed. So let's go ahead and move things around so that way it makes a little more sense. Doesn't look like I need to change too much. This music is a little epic. A little too epic for what I was thinking for. Anyway. Let's see what's playing now. That's better. Yeah, I want some relaxing music. I don't want anything too epic and grandstandy. Anyway. Yeah, Ride of the Valkyries would be a little much. Okay, that looks a little better. Let's go ahead and let me just move this over just a smidge. Okay. Yeah, dude, I am sorry. You probably just ran into Ferraryville, didn't you? Yep. So generally, Kitsune is going to be, just a regular, fox-like person, kind of anime looking, but yeah, you are going to run into that on the occasion, so sorry. Yep, Rule 34, it'll get you. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with having a unique kink like that, let me tell you. Because you know what? Those people are some of the nicest, most friendliest people in the world, and you know what? God bless them. That's all I can say. They have an art form, they're sticking to it. You know what? Good for them. This is a furry, friendly environment. Anyway. Edges, bridges, loops. So, yeah. No judging here. No judging. Yeah, actually, that is true. That is true. They are definitely pros when it comes to making their costumes. Like, you want to see some grade A quality cosplay. Those people know what they're doing. Anyway. Yeah. Alright, so it looks like we got ourselves some decent looking legs, some decent looking Lupin style legs. Now let's go ahead and get some armor on this character. And let's go ahead and install the head. So I have a female head here already for a cleric style, or for a kitsune. So I'm just going to go ahead and install this onto the head, to the body right over here. But what we're going to do is we're going to obviously make some changes to the positioning, and probably change the hair too. So let's see. Alright, first let me make the head just a smidge bigger, like so. Let me keep the neck somewhat long. Let me go ahead and change the hair now. I'm not really sure what kind of a hair I want to give this person, to be honest, because I do like this haircut already, you know. But I guess I'll just move the ponytail back and then go from there. So let's go ahead and make this neck just a little bit longer, right around there. Let me go ahead and increase the width of this neck base right over here. So let me just do that real fast. I think maybe I do like this hairdo, so I think I'm just going to keep it, but just change the positioning of the hairstyle a little bit. What god? Corellian? Probably. I mean, Corellian is free-spirited, and, you know, for beings that like to be free and live life and be happy, so yeah, probably Corellian. I have no idea. The patron that requested this did not make any specifics on the type of god, and I don't think it really matters. Anyway. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and combine this neck to this body. So mesh, edges, bridge, edge loops, Alt J, and then select all of this. And then we're going to go ahead and press smooth vertex. Okay. And there you go. Nice long neck. Okay. Actually, I think the neck is a little too long. I'm going to bring it down just a smidge. So let me just grab all of this geometry for the hair. Let me just bring it down just a little bit. Just a smidge. Alright. That's a little better. Still a little long. Bring it down just a little more. Okay. Smooth vertex. Alright, that's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better now. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and get back to the sculpting. Let's go ahead and smooth this area out. Inflate right here. Smooth, 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 smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Alright, much better. Now that we got the base body down, let's go ahead and let's get this hair out of the way. So I like the idea of this hair actually being behind the body. What we're going to do is we're going to just get rid of it completely and then just make it from scratch. So let's get rid of this. Let's move this hair. Let's go ahead and close this out. And then we're just going to redirect. Okay. Okay, then let's go into faces. We're gonna go ahead and bring this down just a little bit like so. I'm gonna redirect over here. Looks like we got a little bit of issue here with this Looks like we have some reverse normals. Let's go ahead and see if I can get rid of that control. And okay, good. I was a little worried there. All right. Okay. Smooth vertex. Okay. Oops. There we go. Alright, I think that's pretty good right there. Now let's change this hairdo on top of the head. I do kind of like the hair being the way it is, but I'm gonna diminish it a little bit just because this character is clearly deep in combat right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just redirect this right over here and have it just a little more to the side of the head instead of over like so. So just like that. That way both eyes are visible. Now let me select all of this, press randomize again to give it a different look. Same thing over here, select that, randomize, randomize. And then let me just go in here and smooth this part out. Christ. Okay, that's a little better. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this smile and instead give it a little bit more of a serious looking face. You know, this person's about to deal with some crap. It's got his dagger out. It's probably not going to be very happy about what it's about to deal with. So let's go ahead and change the face just a smidge like that. Okie dokie. Yeah, randomize can lead to some very unique situations. Okay, so we got the basics down. Let me go ahead and thicken these hands just a little bit just because, you know, when you print this on FDM, you're going to be dealing with some, you know, missing fingers if you're not careful. All right, so now that we got the basics down, the basic body down, let's go ahead and make some scale armor. Now, scale armor, you know, is very similar to a lot of other armor pieces. You know, there's the breastplate, there's you know, there's pauldrons, there's the shoulders, bracers, etc., etc. But obviously, there's lots of scales pretty much everywhere. Scales are kind of a pain in the ass to create, but with a little bit of trickery, a little bit of 3D trickery, it can be done. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So first I'm going to start from the top and work my way up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on these pauldrons first. So what we're going to do is we're first going to go ahead and make these shoulders just a little bit wider than what they really are. And I'm just going to do that by directly grabbing this geometry and just pulling it outwards just a smidge. I'll do the same thing on the other side too. Then same thing over here. Alright, next I'm going to need to start doing a little bit of extrusion work. So we're going to select that. Now notice over here I have these two triangles at the edges of the thing. I'm going to be doing the same thing over here too. So triangles usually are not something you like to see in 3D, but sometimes it's a little unavoidable, and sometimes it actually helps with the look. So expand it out to 1.341, extrude upward to Let's see, 44. Let's see if that's a good size. Yeah, it looks like a pretty good size. Okay, let's do the same thing over here. And let's go ahead and go over here. Alright. Extrude outward 1.3. 3, 4, 1. Close enough. Extrude upward. Okay. So now we got some pauldrons. Now let's go ahead and build the little plates that are, protect the bottom of the armor. So what we're going to do is we're just going to grab this geometry here, and we're going to just extrude downward. Actually, an easier way to do this would be to actually grab this right here and just extrude this outward. So, like so. Okay. Then we're going to grab this again. We're going to extrude it outward one more time. Okay. Now we do the same thing over here. Bring this down. And bringing it down to just over the shoulders right there. Now let's go ahead and bring that in right there. Select these. Then extrude upward just a little bit again. Alright. Now we go ahead and make these look like little plates. So I think 2 is enough. Alright, I got some nice little plates right there. Same thing over here. 1, 2. Then we just do a little bit of extrusion work again. And one more time. Okay. So now you got the little, pauldrons that go on the side, as it is. Let's give this lady some bracers. So let's go over here and fix these elbows first. This looks a little weird. Alright, let's give you some bracers now. So we're going to just extrude outward like this. Oops, don't know what I did there. That was weird. Extrude this outward like this. Alright. Now we're just going to give it a little bit of definition right here. And extrude outward like so. Okay, we got some nice little bracers. Nothing too fancy. I'll do the same thing over here on this side. Okay. Let me just expand that outward just a little bit. All right. Oh, bless me. Oh, bless me. Sorry about that. Let me go back a little bit. Thank you. Alright, so we got some bracers. Now for the part of the armor that actually has scales. So what you're going to do is first we need to make the breastplate come out of the body. So we're going to go ahead and select this part first. And let's go ahead and make ourselves a breastplate. That's going to be covered in scales. But first we need to make the geometry obviously separate from the rest of the body. We need to create some lines, if you will. So, let's go ahead and select the bits of the body that are going to be covered in armor. Alright, let's go ahead and, grab that. We're going to extrude outward just a smidge. Okay, we got the obvious selection, or obvious differences in the armor now. Now let's go ahead and just make sure that this separation is unique looking. Okay, expand it outward, looks good. Make sure that this does not converge in any weird fashion. Oops. Interesting. Alright, let me just expand outward just a little bit more. Okay. Alright, now that we got that part done, let's go ahead and start adding some scales. So first, we need to make sure that this looks different from the rest of the body. So we're going to add a little bit of subdivision right down here. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing up here in the neck area. Sorry, let me bring this in just a little bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit of subdivision. No, right there. And then there we go. And then subdivide that. Alright. Next we are going to go ahead and let me smooth this out just a little bit. Okay, now let's make some scales. So this is pretty easy to pull off. What you do is you just make extra lines, right? Then you go ahead and you just select all of these vertices. First you got to make sure that they're somewhat uniform looking. So that means I need to bring this down just a little bit. Global. Okay. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and select these vertices. And you'll notice that the body is obviously shifted a little bit to the left based off of the way that the torso is moving. And that's okay with scale armor because scale armor does, you know, wrap around and move with the body, so it's not that big a deal. So now we're going to select all this geometry right here. We are going to go ahead and extrude individuals, like so. Then what we're going to do is we are going to, let me see if that was enough. I think that was enough, yeah. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to split these even further, like so. Sorry. And then we are going to individually bring out and downward these individual scales. So the best way to do this is to just go into normal, pull up, then pull downward, like so. Then you just do that again and again and again repeatedly. Just up, downward, up, downward. Right now it doesn't look like scales yet, but you'll see when I add extra geometry to these lines. You'll see. You'll see. You'll all see. Sorry. Now to show you what I was talking about, what I do is I just add extra line right here. Then I add an extra line right here. And as you can see, the little scales are starting to show up. But let's not do that just yet because this still needs a little bit of work. This looks a little more blade-like than scale-like. So I need to do some changes, obviously. Alrighty. Quinn Lian BC, is everything okay? Did I do something wrong? Sure, I can do that. How's that? Is that better? How is that? I am talking, and the music volume should have gone down. Is that better? Great. Hope it sounds okay on when I post this on YouTube later. I guess I'll find out. This music's a little weird. I hear like laughter in the background. It's kind of strange. Anyway. Okay. All right, so far so good. Let's continue making these look sharp and pretty. Sometimes moving the individual vertices is kind of a necessity in situations like this, which is fine. Okay. Yeah, that would have been weird. All right. We are getting there, folks. We are getting there. I gotta do the same thing on the back, but I'm not probably gonna be as crazy as I was on the front, so it should be okay. All right. Okay, so those are the scales in the front. Yeah, looks all right. Now let's make some scales in the back. But first, let me go ahead and do some geometry action in here. Okay. Sorry about that. I got a message from my sister. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. Let me just select these vertices real fast. And this one real fast right here. Let me subdivide this, that way I don't deal with any unnecessary extra geometry. Alright, now let's go ahead and... I kind of wish I had more scales now. Oh well, it's fine. Alright. Smooth vertex, just a smidge. Now let me go ahead and extrude individual. I guess I could grab these too. Extrude individual. Extrude individual. There you are. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing again, basically. So. Okay. Now to save ourselves some time, I'm actually just going to grab all of them because it's going to look fine on this angle. Okay. Then do the same thing over here. I'm actually going to get rid of the subdivision just for a little bit. I'm having a really hard time seeing what I'm doing, so I'm just going to get rid of it just for a smidge. Just for a second. And then last but not least, this last bit. Not sure if that's actually the right one I want. Let me see. Yep, never mind, it was. These are a little harder to spot, so I'm gonna have to do these individually. Should be okay. Actually, there is a trick that I could do. No, that's not gonna work, never mind. Well, maybe. Just squeeze this in just a little bit. Nope, that's not gonna work. Sorry, it was worth a shot. Oh, I know what I can do. Select these, right? Go to vertices. Deselect the top ones. Bam. There we go. That's how you do it. vertices. So many vertices. Damn it. Thought I was cutting corners for a second there. All right. Okay, we got ourselves a nice scale mail going on there. Looking pretty good. Let's see here. It was extrusion work, actually. Let's go ahead and select this geometry out here, and then we're just going to extrude it outward. Just make it look like, it's a piece of metal. Okay, so we got ourselves our scale mail. Let's go ahead and add some extra lines right down here, just to give it a little more definition. And then same thing over here. Okay, got that part done. Let's go ahead and give this lady, doesn't really need a belt per se, but why not? Everybody likes a nice belt every once in a while, right? So let's go ahead and make her a nice belt that goes across her waist area. Right there. Let me bring this up just a little bit. Just like that. Squeeze it in just a smidge. Extrude outward. Okay. Now let's give her some leg armor. Alrighty. Now let's see here. So to make the scale armor on the sides, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna build off of one piece. I guess two pieces. Yeah, I guess. Sure. Alright, first we need to fix this proportion just a smidge. Bring it out. Same thing over here. Bring it out. Now we're just going to go ahead and do the same thing we did on the chest on these legs, which is basically do some extrusion work and then go ahead and bring up the scales. Also, right down here, we're just going to say that there's just some rolled up cloth. So we're going to do this little trick instead right here. Instead of this being part of the armor, we're just going to say that this part is clothing. So we're going to randomize that, make it look like it's pulled up pants, and then do the same thing over here. So we're just going to bring that up right there. Bring that right over here. There, and then there you go. Got some rolled up pants. Now we're going to go ahead and make this into scale. Good morning there, King Valley Forge. Oh, hey, King Valley Forge. Later this week I was going to work on your request, but just to give you a heads up, looking at the model that you sent me and all of the work that is involved with that, it's actually going to be a lot more easier and a lot more, well, I won't say easier, it still requires a lot of work, but it's gonna be a little more safe for my mental health if I were to actually just make that model from scratch based off of the artwork you sent me, rather than taking apart an existing model and turning it into something else. Because I looked through it and it's just going to be a lot of work, and it would be a lot. Well, it's still a lot of work regardless, but it's going to be less tedious if I were just to make it from scratch. So you're still going to get that model you requested, but it's going to be made differently. So just thought to give you a heads up. It's a pretty cool idea though, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff. Okay, now we do the same thing over here. It's these 3 pieces. Okay. Now let's go ahead and extrude these individually. Okay, extrude individual. All right. And then we cut these. And then bring these out, then bring these down, and there's scale armor right there on that side. And then alright, looks pretty scaly right there. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing over here. Extrude individual. Now we're going to cut these in half. Oops. And then we're going to do the same thing again. Yeah, we got some scale armor on the side. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and move this down just a smidge over here. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and now make some scale armor right here in the crotch area. Alright. Yeah, the music does sound a little bit like that, doesn't it? It's not bad. Anyway, let's go ahead and move this armor down here. It kind of has like a little bit of a samurai feel. But you do have to protect your crotch. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and bring that in. Just a smidge. Okay. Gonna cut that in half. Cut that into threes. Twos. Same thing over here. I can't have this being split into pieces. Let me just get rid of that. Subdivide. Okay. That should not have gone all the way. Good. Sitting over here. Alright. Okay. Let's sit over here. Alright, now that we got that part done, I'm going to go ahead and select these bad boys as well. I'm going to select this, bring this out like so, and basically make this look like a buckle as part of another system of armor. Okay, now let's go ahead and select these. Bring this all down like so. Extrude individual. Now we're going to cut this in half. Okay. Alright. Now that we got that part done, let's go ahead and add some accessories. And then we're going to add... Oh, I should add some scales to the shoulder pads now, shouldn't I? Alright, it's about that time. Okay, let's see here. Alright, I need to get rid of some subdivision real fast. So let me subdivide you right there. Do the same thing over here. Subdivide. Looking pretty intense so far. I am digging it. Okay, let's go ahead and add some scale action in here. Alright, extrude individual, then cut these bad boys in half. Oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Alright. Okay. Got some scale armor right there. Okay. Now let's do the same thing on her other arm. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. It's just standard scale armor. It's nothing too crazy. But I do appreciate it. I do appreciate your compliments. So let's go ahead and select all of this. And let's extrude individual. Alright. Now let's go ahead and cut across. Now select all of these bad boys. Deselect you. Alright. Go ahead and select that real fast. Same thing over here. Okay. She's looking pretty solid. Now let's go ahead and add some accessories, and then we're going to add the tail. Let me just see how my stream is doing. Says I'm recording. Okay, just making sure. Oh, let me add some knee pads real fast. Nothing too crazy, just a quick extrusion. And then the same thing over here. Because everybody needs knee pads. Okay, looking pretty good. Alrighty, let's go ahead and she's looking pretty good. Oh, I guess she needs a tail, right? It's about that time. I guess I'll just do the tail now. Tails are pretty easy to pull off. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the tail forward. That way, it's easier to print FDM-wise. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright. So what we need is we need this geometry right here, this area. Gonna go ahead and ball that out. Grab this. The music's a little creepy, I'm gonna change it. There we go. Alright. This music's also a little creepy. There we go. That's better. Alrighty. So let's make ourselves a Kitsune style tail, which is basically a fox tail. actually going to bring his tail down just a little bit more. The service that I'm using for the music today is this streaming service called Pretzel, and it's supposed to be designed specifically for people who live stream. So, you know, I'm just using that today, and it was a gift from Jen, who hooked me up with a subscription to it. So it's been pretty nice so far. Okay. That tail should print pretty nicely for the FDM folks, as you can see if you print it in this angle. So let's go ahead and split this up now. I'm gonna like this song. This is actually pretty nice. So there we go. Anyway, so let's subdivide that. Hey, well, I'm happy that you like it there, King Valley Forge. I will thank her. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and make ourselves a nice little foxtail real fast. It's a pretty easy task to pull off, since all you do is you just create all of this geometry, and then you just press the randomize button, and that's it. I think I could use a little more geometry than that, though. Let me randomize just a little more. Now let's go ahead and fix this tail just a smidge. Okay, let's go ahead and inflate just a little bit right here. Nice thick tail. Hey, thank you there, Queen NPC. Alrighty, let me just grab a couple of these and just bring them in. There you go. And that looks like a tail. Okay, tail is in. Now let's go ahead and add some accessories, and then we're gonna go ahead and move on to the dagger. So let's go ahead and go to object mode. I'm gonna bring the size down just a little bit. Alright, well, maybe that's not necessary actually. Alright, file, import STO. Let's bring in a size marker. So, medium-sized creature. Let's move this back a little bit. Let's look right there. Let's make sure that she's not too tall. I envision her being, you know, somewhat medium-sized. So let's go ahead and bring in file, import STO. Let's bring in our Lady Barbarian, because she is the standard size that I use for pretty much all of my minis, because she stands roughly at a height of 5'9". Okay, so Miss Kitsune is rather large, so let's go ahead and bring it down just a little bit. There we go. Right around there, that's just fine. Thank you, lady. Okay. It's, looks like this tail is not touching the, surface of this enough as I would like. We're gonna bring this down. Global. Local, whatever. There we go. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get some accessories in here. File, import.sto. And let's just get some pouches. You know, nothing too crazy. Just some pouches will do fine. Maybe a water skin. Nah, maybe not a water skin. Weapons, tools, and props. Alright, let's see here. Let me get some pouches in here. Pouches, pouches, pouches. Generic pouch. Here we go. Alright, set origin towards center mass. Get rid of the extra geometry. And just a couple of pouches on the side. Should be just fine. Alrighty. Because everybody needs pouches, right? Pouches for holding your various gear and equipment and such and so forth. Let's put a couple right here. And then I will do the same. Actually, this is a little too in the back. Needs to be brought in just a little bit. Alright. Then I'll do the same over here on this side. And then one more pouch right over here. Okay, got some nice pouches. Next is we should probably have, oh yeah, the dagger. I almost forgot about that. File, save. Let's go ahead and yeah, let's get a nice cool looking dagger in here. So first what we're going to do is we're going to import the standard dagger that I've had for some time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make it more curved looking, you know, we're going to change a couple of things on this. So let's go ahead and add some extra geometry right here. Let's go ahead and curve this sideways. Now we're going to make this just a little bit longer. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and make this a little more exotic looking. I'm going to bring this forward, bring this back. Alright. Now we're going to add a subdivision surface. We're going to smooth it out. And then we need to make this a little more pointed in the front. So I was tempted to go for like a whole Skyrim thing, you know, but those details are not going to show up on a 3D print. I'm sorry. Not even on a resin print will fine edge details on a blade come out, so yeah. Tempting. Alright, let's add a little more geometry in here. Let's go ahead and grab all of this and smooth it out just a smidge. A crookly blade? Not recently, no. They are pretty cool though. But no, I have not made a crookly blade as of recent. Okay. We got ourselves a nice curved sword. Curved sword. No, I'm kidding. Alright, that's a more unique looking dagger than what it was originally there. Hey kitty. I have a special guest in here, guys. I have my cat. My kitty cat. Or Belle. She is joining us. Alright, let's go ahead and make this just a little bit bigger, because we do need this to actually print while still maintaining some kind of size. Let's go ahead. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Let's go ahead and make this just a little bit wider too, because again, we do need to print this for FDM as well, probably at some point. Meow. Hey kitty. Alright. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and go into sculpt mode. And let's fill this up just a little bit. Why not? Let's go ahead and make this look a little funky. Let's add a little bit of a Daedric look to it, you know? Why not? Actually, I'm doing this wrong. If I remember correctly, it's actually just one side of the blade that's supposed to be all funky looking and stuff. I guess I could just look it up, right? Oh, I see. So there's pointy end there, pointy end there, pointy end at the top, and then serration in the front. Funky. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the impracticality of the Daedric blades was something that always kind of bothered me too. That was weird. All right. I like this video game music. Yeah. Alright, I think that's as far as I really need to go with this. It's kind of silly at this point. Alright. This music's so friendly. A little bit, yeah. I think that's enough. All right. I think that's pretty good. Okay. I think our little Kitsune and scale armor cleric is pretty much ready to go. I like it. Alright, this is pretty good. Let's go ahead and save this real fast, and we're going to go ahead and test her on FDM. Make sure that she's safe for that. Probably need to thicken the fingers a little bit, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and file export STL. I have a lot of clerics. Alrighty. Export. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and open up Windows 3D Builder now. Let's go and load her up. Alright. Clerics. Kitsune Cleric Scale Armor. Import. There's a couple of errors. We're going to take care of that right now. Alright. Sorry about that. I lost my earpiece for a second there. Alright, looks like she's ready to go. Let's go ahead and save real fast. Oh shoot, you know what I forgot to do? This was dumb. Sorry. I was supposed to increase the overall geometry by this girl by just a little bit to make her look a little more refined. Sorry about that. Not a big deal. Taking care of this right now. Let's go ahead and load her up again to repair the errors that are going to be in the model. Import. Okay. It's going to go ahead and take care of whatever errors are inside the model itself, and then we should be good to go. This was a model that I created in under 2 hours. That's kind of nice. the series. I'm sure there is. However, I've never seen it. I'm sure that if I were to use something like ZBrush and go to town on that, I probably could. But ZBrush costs money, and I don't really have it right now. Hello, dear.
Want me to refresh your copy?
Yes, please. Good morning to you.
Pardon?
My lovely and amazing and incredibly sexy wife has just come in and has decided to refill my coffee, so she's literally the best. Alright, this model is ready to go. Let's go ahead and load it up on Cura real fast and make sure that there's no other errors I need to worry about. So the version I'm using of Cura is a little dated, but it's works fine for me right now and no real issues there, so it is what it is. Yeah, that's true. I'm sure that's true. But I don't work on terrain, so don't need to worry about that. Alright, let's go to and open this girl up. Okay. Let's see if I got any errors. Probably gonna lose a finger. Let's see. Okay. The fingers are all there. You lose a little bit of the tip of the ears, but that's kind of unavoidable. All the fingers and hands are there. No issues on the armor. Alright, looks like she is safe for FDM printing then. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad at all. I think I want to thicken the fingers anyway though. Just because this hand is a little bit thicker than this one, so we're just gonna go take care of that. Alright, so, but yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, I'm just gonna increase the size of this hand just a little bit right here, because I just realized that the other hand is a little bit thicker than this one. So we're just gonna increase its size just a smidge from the onset outward. So let's go to active element, and we're just gonna grow the hand just a smidge. Then bring it out just a smidge. And then I guess to make life a little bit easier, I'll just angle it upward just a little bit. That's just so the FDM folks can have an easier time. Alright. That should do it. Alright, so let's go ahead and save one more time, export one more time, and then fix the file one more time. But we are done. This model is ready to be posted online. So, I guess while we're doing that, let's go ahead and do a quick render of this girl. So I think that's a good angle right there. Okay. She looks pretty cool. I like it. Alright, that's a pretty good angle. So, here we go. Let's go ahead and save real fast. Let me do a quick, grab a quick shot of this. And I'm going to go ahead and post this online. So, file, save as. Let's go ahead and go to clerics. And then it's going to be Kitsune, cleric and scale armor. But yeah, she came out pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good looking model I got going on here. I like it. Along the forearm, you say? Yeah, but she's a cleric, so, you know, maybe she holds it differently. Thank you, baby. Hey, Jen, do you think that this blade should be back here instead? Or is it okay like that? It's a dagger. I guess that kind of makes sense, right? mean, I've only taken a couple of knife fighting things, and I found that, you know, backwards or forwards, it doesn't actually matter. You're gonna cut somebody, you're gonna cut somebody. But, yeah, I guess that's a good point. How about this? I make 2 versions, and then...
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the 2 versions are taking
Yeah.
a minute to make.
Yep.
Also, there's a tiny squash clue in them.
Aww, my baby loves me. Yeah, that actually does make more sense. Yeah. Honestly, if somebody needs to flip it, they could just open the Blender file and do it themselves. I mean, it's not that big a deal. I'm just going to publish one file, and frankly, this one makes more sense. So, yeah. Alright, file save, file export.stl. Let's do that again. Hey, thank you there, Lord of Feet. Appreciate it. Yeah, that does make more sense. Alright, fine. Alright, cool. Okay, file, save as, then cleric is nice scale armor. Yes. Alright. Let's go ahead and just open that up again. Import model. Okay. The pommel is small enough, yeah. If you were to take the blade out of the model and then print it individually, you could, in theory, squeeze it into her hands. So, yeah, in theory, you could do that. Nothing like some nice boozy coffee. All right, so the model is being repaired right now. So let's go ahead and post this online real fast. And by the way, folks, while we're waiting for this, and you're probably wondering, hey, what is this guy talking about? What is all this stuff that he's talking about with patrons and posting it online? Like, what is going on here? Well, let me tell you, my friends, I currently have a Patreon. I am posting the link on the comments right now, and if you'd like to support my efforts, there it is. I offer my patrons access to all of my files in one convenient spot. All 1,700 of my models in one area. I also offer access to a request board and a variety of other options like commercial and commission options. So there's my Patreon page, and if you want to support me, you can do that right there. So, anyway, let's go ahead and load this file online, and then we're gonna go ahead and call it. I'm gonna go and celebrate Veterans Day, since I am a veteran and whatnot. So let's go ahead and do that. But first, I want to make sure that this is posted online, so that way you guys can download it yourself. Wait. Actually, hold on a second. Is there a way to stop this? I just realized, well, no, it's fine. I saved it already. Okie dokie. And let's go ahead and post this onto the Google Drive where all my patrons have access to. Yay, free Denny's! No, I am not doing free Denny's. I'm sorry. I did that once, and I just felt like so guilty. It's like, this is so dumb. I shouldn't be doing this. So no, I'm not gonna be doing free Denny's, free Arby's. Ugh, just no thank you. Nothing against anybody who does that stuff, but it's like, I don't know, I just felt like, I don't know. I mean, I'm raised Catholic, so I just feel guilty about everything no matter what I do, so I don't know. But, yeah, no. I'm not gonna be doing the free food nonsense. I'm good. Yeah. I mean, people want to thank me for their service, my service. I don't mind at all. It's just, you know, just give me the health care and the benefits. I'm good. You don't need to give me a damn free burger. Anyway, all right. So let's see where this model's going right now. But to my patrons who are out there, if you need a new cleric or just generic dagger fighter, this Kitsune is now available. Alright, she looks like she's ready to be posted online. She looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and create a product. Given this is not exactly intellectual property, I'm just going to put it for sale, so if people want to order prints, they can do that. I don't exactly get a lot of people ordering prints from my Shapeways page, but it's not really a big deal. People will get my files, they can print it themselves. It's not really a thing. But some people do. Some people do actually order prints, which is neat. Anyway, dagger. Alright, and clerics. Okay, and then put this under smooth fine detail. That's a material that's basically resin. It's pretty dependable. Anything can be printed with it. Okay. Hey, well, thank you there, who man bean. Ninja elephant. Yeah, actually. If you go on YouTube, I made a couple of tutorials that shows you how to make your own 3D printable files for 3D printing. So I'm mz4250 on YouTube. So there's that. And there's other tutorials on YouTube as well. Look up Danny Herrero on YouTube. He is also pretty awesome. You can learn all kinds of stuff from his channel too. Okay, let me go ahead and change the price of this just a little bit. Not that it actually matters. All right, I guess 18 bucks, whatever. All right, guys, I think we're good. I have made another Patreon request happen, and it is a Kitsune cleric in scale armor with a dagger. So this model came out pretty great. It shouldn't be too hard to print either. You could try printing it as is if your support game is strong. However, I would recommend actually printing it on its back. So if you go to solid mode for right here, if you print it like this, you'll actually, well, not like that. If you print it like this, at this angle with supports, you'll actually have a much easier time printing it than if you try to print it as is. You would use roofs and floors turned on, and you should have a pretty easy time printing it. So that is my recommendation. But anyway, that was my stream for the morning. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, I guess go hang out with some friends and enjoy the holiday. Paint for a little bit too. But before I go, if you guys have any questions for me about 3D printing, 3D modeling, D&D, anything like that, I will take the next couple of minutes to answer your questions and then go ahead and move on from there. So go ahead and send your questions my way right meow. Oh, well, thank you. I hope you enjoy your day too. Yes, the Anycubic Photon is an excellent machine. The material is expensive though, so you have to keep that in mind when you decide what you want to print with it. For instance, I use the Anycubic Photon for all my showpiece models because I want to show off how good some of the models came out. But if I needed like an army of ghouls or zombies or whatever, I would not use my Photon. I would just print them on my Prusa FDM machine and go from there. So it's a pretty good question. Any other questions or comments or complaints, concerns? Here we go. What is the easiest way to select an individual item or model? So like the dagger in Blender. The easiest way to do it, what you do is you go to object mode, right? Make sure you're in solid view. You would just select it by selecting the body or selecting the dagger like that. All you do is you just select it, and that's it. And then you got the item. And then you can go ahead and file, you can export to STL, and you can selection only, and you know, let me name it something different, like a funky dagger, and then the dagger is now selected by itself. And then if you wanted to just export the body, you would select the body, the base, I guess the pouches too, and then you would export that however you want to name it. So that is how you would export the a item. Okay. Also, resin printers have less fiddly bits to calibrate. Is there a difference? Is there a difference if you want to paint it later? No, not really. You just remove supports, sand where you need to sand, and then go ahead and prime it, then paint away. Yeah. Yeah, FDM, resin, you're still going to get pretty good results if your machine is tweaked right. Is there a reason you still use 2.79? I just haven't updated yet. There's really no reason. I've worked on 2.8 and I found that the modeling tools are not that different from 2.79. I still get the same results. I found that there was nothing that 2.8 offers that I can't get in 2.79, other than some minor changes in the overall UI. So as soon as this laptop dies and I need to upgrade, I'm gonna go ahead and get 2.8. But for now, 2.79 is fine. It's really no difference. I got another question. Okay, so maybe the tail then part. Oh yeah. So maybe the tail then like part of the model that isn't separated. Do you want to separate the tail from the body? Is that what you're trying to say? If you need a reliable FDM printer for minis below huge, we recommend the Snapmaker. I never use a Snapmaker, but I'm sure it's good. Oh, if you want to separate the tail from the body, how you do that is as follows. So what you do is you go into edit mode, right? Sorry, edit mode. You select, I guess faces would work. You select all of these faces. Okay. Oh, sorry. So what you do is you select all the faces, and then what you do is you press the letter P, like that. And then in object mode, you will now have a separate object. So there you go. And then you're probably going to want to close this hole, right? So what you do is you go here, you with the Alt button press, you select all the edges, you press Alt F, and then you got yourself a closed end right there. You can extrude one more time just to make it a little more flatter, not really needed. And then same thing over here, you select this edge right here, you press Alt F, you can extrude inward just a little bit if you want to make like a little hole so you can like glue things in or whatever, but that's basically it. So that's how you do that. Does that answer your question there, Kings Valley Forge? Cool. All right, I'm happy to have helped you. Yeah, so the sculpting tools that I've seen in 2.8, they're no different than what it's in 2.79. The Dintopu sculpting, that is, which is the only sculpting that I really need anyway. But I'll tell you what, when 2.81 comes out, can't believe it's already 2.81. But as soon as 2.81 comes out, I will check out the sculpting tools and see if it's any different than what I have right now. But as of right now, don't really need it. But I'll keep that in mind. And you know what? As soon as I mess with 2.81, if I feel it's worthwhile, I will make another tutorial on how to use it for everybody else. Alrighty. So, I think that's we're gonna call it right here. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now. But anyway, folks, this was a fun little 3D modeling exercise. I really enjoyed working on this. But I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my day. So thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, you all have a great day. So once again, if you'd like to support my efforts and, or just or just whatever, have access to all my files, I have my Patreon posted right there. I will post a link to this file on the YouTube video at the bottom, along with links to all of my other files and such and so forth. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for stopping by. Remember, all my files are free, so you can download away and print it to your heart's content. And there you go. So I will you guys have a good one. Thanks again for stopping by. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and happy printing to you all. Bye-bye.